Hello guys, you're welcome once again to Immigrate with Ammy, and today we'll be talking about a special residence visa in one of the most popular European Union countries. By the way, this country is also a member of the Schengen zone. We have spoken extensively in our previous videos about different types of visa in different countries, most especially in the European Union. We've spoken about the student visas. We've spoken about the Schengen tourist visa. We've spoken about the D7 visa for Portugal. We've spoken about the digital nomad visa for digital nomads, and different classes of visas. But in this particular video, we'll be talking about a special type of residence visa for one of the European Union countries, which you all know. Okay, and this visa is different from the other types of visa in the sense that this visa allows you to actually reside in that country for up to 1 year without the need for a job offer. So you don't need to have gotten a job in that country or have open a business or something before you can apply for this visa. If you meet the requirement, you can apply for it. Another good thing about this particular residence visa is that if you have the requirement and you have enough funds, you can also apply for you and your immediate family, okay, to reside in that country for up to 1 year. All right, so in this video we'll be talking about what the visa is all about. We'll be talking about the requirement for applying for the visa, and we'll also be talking about how you can actually submit your application for this visa. Then we'll also mention the timeline, how long it takes for the processing of this visa. Okay, so let's get on with that. So the name of the visa is called the non-lucrative visa. All right, that's the name of the visa, and it's for the country called Spain, right? Español. So I would be talking about the requirement, okay, for the visa. The first requirement, which is I would say it's common for all visa categories regardless of the type of visa, is the fact that you need to show proof of sufficient economic means. So for the entire period of your residency, you must be able to show that you have enough funds to cover yourself and your family members if you'll be applying with a family member. Okay, so when it comes to the actual amount of money that you should show proof of, we will mention that later in the video. The second requirement for this visa is that you must not have a current or a previous criminal record, either in Spain, in the European Union, or in your country of residence. And you should be able to show this by means of a police clearance certificate or any other equivalent document. The third requirement is that previously you must not have been banned from entering the Schengen territory. Okay, so one thing you need to know is that the Schengen countries represent a zone that has no border. So the countries have a form of relationship that allows them to share immigration data with each other. Meaning that if you have a crime or if you have an issue with one of the countries, every other country in that zone will have access to that information. So maybe you have overstayed your visa previously in one of the Schengen countries, or maybe you committed a crime previously in one of the Schengen countries. If that is your case, then most likely you would not be able to apply for this non-lucrative visa. Okay, the next requirement is that you must not be in Spain illegally. So if you have come into Spain as an illegal immigrant into Spain, then you would not be able to apply for this visa. And then the last requirement is that you need to make arrangement for a private health insurance. So for the period of that residence, which is up to 1 year, you must be able to actually make arrangements. So you must be able to pay for a private health insurance company to provide health insurance cover for you and your family members, if applicable, for the entire period of the visa. I did mention the fact that you must provide proof of sufficient economic means. So the thing is that for you to be able to apply for this visa category, okay, you need to show that on a monthly basis, you have an income of around 2,316.08 euros. That is if you are applying as an individual. Now, imagine that you have like immediate family members that will also be part of that application. Then you would need additional funds, okay, in the sum of 579.02 euros for each family member that will be joining you in that application. All right, so this is the proof of funds that is required for applying for this visa. All right, and the calculation is based on the cost of living, okay, as published by the Spanish government. So if you plan to apply for the non-lucrative visa, all right, we'll talk about the steps that you can take to apply for that visa. And the first step is that you would need to apply for this visa in a Spanish diplomatic mission or a Spanish consular office. What this means is that you cannot apply for this visa from within Spain. And if you've had like a different visa category and you are currently in Spain, for you to apply for this non-lucrative visa, you would need to exit Spain, and then you would need to go to maybe your home country or the country where you have residence, and then from there you can apply for this visa. So basically they have a standard form that you can use to apply, and when you get to the embassy you can request for that form, all right, and then add the additional document to it and submit the application at the Spanish embassy, the Spanish diplomatic mission, or a consular office anywhere in the world. Okay, so once this application has been successfully submitted with all the documents that are required, then it will take some time for the authorities to actually take a decision on your application. Okay, and once the decision has been taken, then the next thing will be for you to go to the Spanish consular post closest to you to collect the visa. All right, and then once the visa has been collected, then from that day onwards you have the right to enter the Spanish territory. So you can travel to Spain, and then when you enter into Spain, based on the fact that they've already issued you that entry visa, you would now be able to actually convert that visa to the foreigner identity card, which grants you the rights of residence. Okay, so what are the documents that are required when you want to apply for this visa? The first one is you must have a valid passport. Okay, and that passport must be valid at least for 1 year. All right, not less, not 6 months, not 9 months. Okay, so the passport must have a validity period of at least 1 year. Okay, even more than 1 year is preferable actually. The second document that you would need to also submit is your criminal record certificate or an equivalent document which justifies that you don't have any criminal records. Okay, the third document is the document which proves that you have sufficient economic means, okay, to sustain yourself during the entire period of your stay in Spain. So it could be in form of, a bank statement. It could be maybe some proof of investment, some proof of maybe properties, or some other proof, anything that shows that you have sufficient economic means to sustain yourself and your family members. Okay, this will be required as well. All right. Another document that you would need to submit is a proof that you have the appropriate health coverage for the period of that year. Okay, so you must have previously arranged or paid for a health cover from, a private health insurance firm which is authorized to actually practice in Spain. All right. So the last document is that you need to submit a medical certificate which proves that you do not suffer from any disease which is considered a public health disease. All right. So you can check the International Health Regulations of 2005 to get the list of these diseases which represent significant public health. Okay. What are the things that could actually work against you? So what are the things that can lead to a rejection of this visa application? The first thing is that if your application lacks legitimacy. So if, for example, imagine that you have criminal records, or maybe you've been banned from entering the Schengen zone, or maybe you don't have like sufficient economic means. So if all this applies to you, then this outrightly could lead to a refusal or a rejection of your visa application. Okay, so finally, to talk about the timeline of the application, the thing is that even though, on a standard basis, the applications takes only few weeks, so from around 2 to 5 weeks, right? But the thing is, what you need to understand is that even though this is a standard case, in most diplomatic missions or so, or most embassies, they deal with a lot of other visa types. They deal with a backlog of applications. On, like, in a summary, it might actually take up to 3 months to process this application. All right. So if you are planning, if you have made up your mind to apply for this visa, just know that you need to at least give it around 3 months so that you have sufficient time for the application to be, to be approved, and then you can make plans to actually travel to the Spanish territory. All right. So this is the main information regarding the Spanish non-lucrative visa. And then I think it's a good opportunity for those who have, the requirement, who have mostly the required funds. So if you have the required fund, maybe you are already working as a digital nomad outside of Spain, and you have that earnings, or maybe you are retired, or you have investment that gives you like a monthly return up to that amount that is mentioned, then this could be a good opportunity for you to reside in Spain, not as a visitor, but as someone with all the rights of residence. Okay, so please guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you have not previously subscribed. Also hit the like button, just to show your love for the information that we are sharing here freely. And also please share with your friends and your family so that they can also be aware of this opportunity. You never can tell who would be in need of this opportunity. Thanks so much for watching, and we wish you guys all the best. Bye.